Captain Gjallan does the business around here.
I work with my mother, sell fruits and vegetables. It's fun most days.
I've got a hungry daughter to feed, so selling my produce is really the only thing I can do.
Good.
May the gods watch over your battles, friend.
The Jarl is, as you can imagine, very busy. I'll be glad to help you. There are many ways to improve your home, provided you have the coin. And of course, don't forget to consult your home decorating guide for descriptions of the decorations you can buy. Now, what would you like to purchase? Very well, I'll make the arrangements. The next time you visit your house, your new furnishings will be in place. Is there anything else you'd like to purchase? Very well. Is there anything else you'd like to purchase? Very well. Is there anything else you'd like to purchase? Very well. Is there anything else you'd like to purchase? Very well. Is there anything else you'd like to purchase? Very well. Is there anything else you'd like to purchase? As you wish. Speak to me again if you decide to purchase some decorations for your home. Enjoy your visit to Dragon's Reach.
Good.
Huh?
You've been a good friend to me. That means something.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. There's a new museum opening up in Dawnstar. The owner is asking me to hand out invitations to travelers. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
When the Empire surrendered to the Almighty,
You're the best. Can you be my father? Really? Do you have a place I could live? Oh, wow. Are you sure? You really wouldn't mind? Yay! Thanks, Mr. Papa. I promise I'll be the best daughter ever.
Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire.
It's everything I could have hoped for. I have a family again. I can't thank you enough.
I'm still here. As well as can be expected. Dear, this house would work for the two of us, but with children, we need to find a bigger place.
Let's go.
Papa!
You talk to Egg Brothers. Deja has no words for you.
Sorry, I was lost in thought. I'm planning my wedding, you see. So many details to work out.
You're trespassing here. You'd better clear out.
What do you need? Really? You're who she picked? I hope she knows what she's doing. Here's the deal. I can smuggle some equipment into the embassy for you. Don't plan on bringing anything else in with you. The Thalmor takes security very seriously. Give me what you can't live without, and I'll make sure to get it into the embassy. The rest is up to you. Okay, I'll get this inside the embassy for you. I've got to go. I'll find you at the party. Don't worry. Your job is to get into the party without being fingered as a spy. I'll take care of the rest. Your job is to get into the party without being fingered as a spy. I'll take care of the rest.
Good.
Have you given Malborn the gear you want to smuggle into the embassy? Good. I have your invitation to the party. But the only way you're going to get past the guards is if they really believe you're an invited guest. Which means you need to look the part and not be armed to the teeth. Here, put this on. When you're ready, I'll keep the rest of your gear safe until you get back. You'll only have what Malborn smuggled in for you, plus whatever you can pick up inside. You can't go to a party at the Thalmor embassy like that. I guess that will have to do. You should pass for a real guest, at least until you open your mouth. Ready to board the carriage to the embassy? Don't worry, it will all be waiting for you when you get back. Just make sure you get back out of there alive with the information we need. Good luck.
A fellow latecomer to Ellenwood's little soiree. And
arriving by carriage, no less. I salute you, sir. My lateness is due more to getting lost on the way up this god's-forsaken mountain than any desire to actually arrive late. I prefer to arrive early, often the day before the party, so as not to miss out on any of the drinking. There's not enough drinking in the world today, wouldn't you agree?
Welcome to the Tholmor Embassy. Your invitation, please? Thank you, sir. Go right in.
Now then, here's my invitation.
Please proceed into the embassy.
I thought that's
Welcome. I don't believe we've met. I am Elenwen, the Thalmor ambassador to Skyrim. And you are? Ah, yes. I remember your name from the guest list. Please, tell me more about yourself. What brings you to this... to Skyrim? What is it, Malborn?
It's just that we've run out of the Alto wine. Do I have your permission to uncork the...
Of course. I've told you before not to bother me with such trifles.
Yes, Madam Ambassador.
My apologies. We'll have to get better acquainted later. Please, enjoy yourself.
What can I get for you? You made it in. Good. As soon as you distract the guards, I'll open this door and we can get you on your way. Let's hope we both live through this day. What can I get for you, sir? Of course. Let me see if we have another bottle of that. I'll be waiting by the door for everyone to be distracted.
What can I get for you?
The
There are
hospitality
words
of the
spoken
Thalmor
and words
Embassy is at
unspoken.
your service.
Beware these Thalmor, for they are adept in both languages.
I hope you're enjoying yourself, sir. Here you go, sir. Colovian brandy. All right, then.
The Great War is long past. It's time the Empire
What does a fellow
and the
need to do to
Altmeri
get a
Dominion
drink
put
around
aside
here?
their differences. Prosperity
Ah,
is
pardon
good
me,
for
friend.
everyone.
I didn't see you standing there. Allow me to introduce myself. Rosalan, imports and exports by trade. Observer of human nature by avocation. Ah, the one generous soul amongst a gathering of pinch pennies and lick spittles. If there's anything I can ever do for you, do not hesitate to call upon me. Wonderful. I can begin to repay your generosity immediately. Say on, friend. Is that all? My friend, you've come to the right person. You could say that causing a scene is somewhat of a specialty of mine. Stand back and behold my handiwork. Attention, everyone! Could I have your attention, please?
Yes, what do you need? Here you go, sir. The finest Colovian brandy. Is there anything else I can get for you? Let's go. Let's go. Before anyone notices us. Let's go. Let's go. Before anyone notices us.
In their bed. Although, most of you are already in bed with her. But again, I speak figuratively, of course.
Let me do the talking. So far, so good. Let's hope nobody saw us slip out. We need to pass through the kitchen. Your gear is hidden in the larder. Just stay close and let me do any talking. Got it? Follow me.
You know I don't like strange smells in my kitchen.
A guest feeling ill. Leave the poor wretch be.
A guest? In the kitchens? You know this is against the rules.
Rules, is it, Zavani? I didn't realize that eating moon sugar was permitted. Perhaps I should ask the ambassador.
Get out of here. I saw nothing.
Your gear is in that chest. I'll lock the door behind you. Don't screw this up. Hurry it up. I've got to get back before I'm missed. Good luck.
Did you see those robes?
You're on your own.
Who are they with? All of the emissaries.
You're dead.
Listen up, spy. You're trapped in here, and we have your accomplice. Surrender immediately, or you both die.
Never mind.
Never should have come here.
Now the Thalmor will be hunting me for the rest of life. I hope it was worth it. Now the Thalmor will be hunting me for the rest of my life. I hope it was worth it.
You're kind of fuzzy. What's wrong with you?
We got rooms and food. Drink, too. I cook. Ain't much else to tell.
You made it out alive, at least. Your gear's safe in my room, as promised. Did you learn anything useful? Really? That seems hard to believe. You're sure about that? Esbern? He's alive? I thought the Thalmor must have got him years ago. That crazy old man. Figures the Thalmor would be on his trail, though, if they were trying to find out what's going on with the dragons. You mean aside from wanting to kill every blade they can lay their hands on? Esbern was one of the Blade's archivists, back before the Thalmor smashed us during the Great War. He knew everything about the ancient dragon lore of the Blades. Obsessed with it, really. Nobody paid much attention back then. I guess he wasn't as crazy as we all thought. Riften, eh? Probably down in the Ratway, then. It's where I'd go. You'd better get to Riften. Ask around the Ragged Flagon in the Ratway. It's at least a good starting point. Oh, and when you find Esbern, if you think I'm paranoid, you may have some trouble getting him to trust you. Just ask him where he was on the 30th of Frostfall. You'll know what it means. The Thalmor happened. They've been hunting down every blade they can find for the past 30 years. Thanks to the White Gold Concordat, they've been able to operate throughout the Empire with impunity. The Great War. Only 30 years passed and already ancient history to most people. Seems to me like it just ended. It's never really ended for me. But to answer your question, the White Gold Concordat was the fancy name they put on the peace treaty between the Empire and the Thalmor. It ended the war and saved the Empire to fight another day. Also trampled on the sacred name of Talos, and gave the Thalmor free rein to stamp out Talos worship throughout the Empire.
Need something?
Need some gold? I may have some work for you.
So, you're Brynjolf's new protege, eh? Don't look like much to me. Lot of people looking for him. Don't know his name, but he's paid good money for nobody to know he's down here. He's holed up in the Ratway Warrens. Hardly ever leaves the place. Has someone bring him food and such. Crazy old coot from what I've heard. For that to stand out down here, he must really be off his nut. He's holed up in the Ratway Warrens. Be careful. You're not the only one looking for him. All right, then.
Welcome to the cozy little family. I'm one of the lookouts for the guild. Someone there.
There's the place, agent. Kill him!
Found you.
Go away! What? No, that's not me. I'm not Esbern. I don't know what you're talking about. Delphine? How do you... So you finally found her. And she led you to me. And here I am, caught like a rat in a trap. Delphine? How do you... Well, this is just a trick to get me to open the door, huh? I told you to go away. I told you to go away. I'm not opening this door for anybody. What's that you said? Dragonborn? Then there really is hope after all. You'd better come inside. Quickly now. Downmore agents have been seen in the Ratway. This'll just take a moment. This one always sticks. There we go. Only a couple more. There we are. That's better. Now we can talk. You, Dragonborn. Is it really true? Important. Far more than even she realizes. If you are Dragonborn, then there is hope, after all. For so long, all I could do was watch our doom approach, helplessly. Dragons, pah, they can be killed. The Blades killed many in their early days as dragon slayers. No, the dragons are merely the final portent of the end of days. Oh, yes, the prophecies make clear the signs that will precede the end times. One by one, I've seen them fulfilled. Alduin has returned, just like the prophecy said. The dragon from the dawn of time, who devours the souls of the dead. No one can escape his hunger, here or in the afterlife. Alduin will devour all things, and the world will end. Nothing can stop him. Yes. You see, you know, but you refuse to understand. You're right, I forget myself. I've lived without hope for so long. The prophecies are clear. Only the Dragonborn can stop Alduin. We must go. quickly now. Take me to Delphine. We have much to discuss. Just a moment. I must gather a few things. I'll need... No useless trash. Where'd I put my annotated annuad? One moment. I know time is of the essence, but mustn't leave secrets for the Thalmor. There's one more I must bring. Well, I guess that's good enough. Let's be off.
This is not good. Maybe they're gone.
Yes?
Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something. In the old fort.
What was that?
Delphine. It's good to see you. It's been a long time.
It's good to see you too, Esbern. It's been too long, old friend. Too long. Well, then. You made it safe and sound. Good. Come on, I have a place we can talk. Orgnar, hold down the bar for a minute, will you?
Yeah, sure.
This way. Now then, I assume you know about...
Oh yes, Dragon Ball. Indeed, yes. Oh, this changes everything, of course. There's no time to lose. We must locate. Let me show you. I know I had it here somewhere.
Esbern, what?
Give me just a moment. Here it is. Come, let me show you. You see, right here, Skyhaven Temple. Constructed around one of the main Akaviri military camps in the Reach during their conquest of Skyrim.
You know what he's talking about?
Alduin's Wall, one of the lost secrets of the Blades, where they recorded all they knew of Alduin and his return. Part history, part prophecy. Its location has been lost for centuries, but I have found it again. Not lost, you see, just forgotten. The Blades archives held so many secrets. I was only able to save a few scraps.
Yes, exactly. Well, I think so. It's certainly our best hope. The ancient Blades remembered much Akaviri dragon lore that has now been forgotten. This is what I've been trying to explain. It's in the Skyhaven Temple, an ancient Blade sanctuary hidden deep in the crags of the Reach.
That's where we'll find Alduin's Wall.
So you think that Alduin's Wall will tell us how to defeat Alduin?
Well, yes. But there's no guarantee, of course.
Skyhaven Temple it is, then. I knew you'd have something for us, Esbern. I know the area of the Reach that Esbern's talking about, near what's now known as Karthspire, in the Karth River Canyon. We can meet you there, or all travel together. Your call. Your call. Might be safer to travel separately. Attract less attention that way. Don't worry, I'll get Esbern there in one piece. We'll wait for you near Karthspire. Good luck. What it... I think we're getting close. Let's keep moving.
Oh! Good.
There you are.
Where are you?
That seems
That's how
to be
it's
all of them.
Remarkably well preserved. Here's the blood seal. Another of the lost Akaviri arts. No doubt triggered by, well, blood. Your blood, Dragonborn.
If
Look
you
here.
need help drawing
You see how
some
the
blood,
ancient blades revered
let me
even
know.
Cyrodiil?
It's coming to life. You did it. After you, Dragonborn. You should have the honor of being the priestess.
Amazing. You can see how the Akaviri craftsmen were beginning to embrace the more flowing Nordic style.
We're here for Alduin's Wall, right, Esbern?
Yes, of course. We'll have more time to look around later, I suppose. Let's see what's up ahead. Here it is. Alduin's Wall, so well preserved. I've never seen a finer example of early Second Era Akaviri sculptural relief.
Esbern, we need information, not a lecture on art history.
Yes. Let's see what we have. Look, here is Alduin. This panel goes back to the beginning of time, when Alduin and the Dragon Cult ruled over Skyrim. Here, the humans rebelled against their dragon overlords. The legendary Dragon War. Alduin's defeat is the centerpiece of the war. You see, here is falling from the sky. The Nord Tongs, masters of the voice, are arrayed against him.
So does it show how they defeated him? Isn't that why we're here?
Patience, my dear. The Akaviri were not a straightforward people. Everything is couched in allegory, mythic symbolism. Yes. This here, coming from the mouths of the Nord heroes, this is the Akaviri symbol for shout. But there's no way to know what shout is meant.
You mean they used a shout to defeat Alduin? You're sure?
Oh yes, presumably something rather specific to dragons, or even Alduin himself. Remember, this is where they recorded all the news of Alduin and his return.
So we're looking for a shout then. Damn it. You ever heard of such a thing? A shout that can knock a dragon out of the sky? You're probably right. I was hoping to avoid having to involve them in this, but it seems we have no choice. If they had their way, you do nothing but sit up on their mountain with them and talk to the sky or whatever it is they do. The Greybeards are so afraid of power that they won't use it. Think about it. Have they tried to stop the Civil War or done anything about Alduin? No. And they're afraid of you, of your power. Trust me, there is no need to be afraid. Think of Tiber Septim. Do you think he'd have founded the Empire if he'd listened to the Greybeards? Only if you don't know how to use it. All the great heroes have had to learn to use their power. Those that shrank from their destiny. Well, you've never heard of them, have you? And there are the villains, those that misused their power. There's always a choice, and there's always a risk. But if you live in fear of what might go wrong, you'll end up doing nothing. Like the Greybeards up on their mountain. Right. Good thing they've already let you into their little cult. Not likely they'd help Esbern or me if we came calling. We'll look around Skyhaven Temple and see what else the old blades might have left for us. It's a better hideout than I could have hoped for. Talos guard you.
Look here, in the third panel. The prophecy which brought the Akaviri to Tamriel in the first place, in search of the Dragonborn. Here are the Akaviri, the blades. You see their distinctive long swords. Now they need them.
Sky above, voice within. Where did you learn of that? Who have you been talking to? The Blades, of course. They specialize in meddling in matters they barely understand. Their reckless arrogance knows no bounds. They have always sought to turn the Dragonborn from the path of wisdom. Have you learned nothing from us? Would you simply be a tool in the hands of the Blades to be used for their own purposes? No, of course not. Forgive me, Dragonborn. I have been intemperate with you. But heed my warning. The Blades may say they serve the Dragonborn, but they do not. They never have. No, I cannot teach it to you, because I do not know it. It is called Dragonrend, but its words of power are unknown to us. We do not regret this loss. Dragonrend holds no place within the way of the voice. But not Dragonrend. The knowledge of that shout was lost in the time before history began. Perhaps only its creators ever knew it, but I am not the one to speak of it to you. Only Paarthurnax, the master of our order, can answer that question, if he so chooses. He is our leader. He surpasses us all in his mastery of the way of the voice. You weren't ready. You still aren't ready. But, thanks to the Blades, you now have questions that only Paarthurnax can answer. Breath and focus. To get the answers you seek, you must travel to the top of the mountain and speak to our master, Paarthurnax. He lives in seclusion on the very peak of the mountain. He speaks to us only rarely, and never to outsiders. Being allowed to see him is a great privilege. Only those whose voice is strong can find the path. We will teach you a shout to open the way to Paarthurnax. The path to Paarthurnax lies through this gate. I will show you how to open the way. Follow me. I will show you how to open the path to Paarthurnax. Wind. I will grant you my understanding of clear skies. This is your final gift from us, Dragonborn. Use it well.
Look!
Look!
Greetings, Wunderneek. I am Parthenax. Who are you? What brings you to my Strunmach, my mountain? Yes, Vaza. You speak true, Dovahkiin. Forgive me. It has been long since I held Tinvak with a stranger. I gave in to the temptation to prolong our speech. Drem. Patience. There are formalities which must be observed at the first meeting of two of the Dove. By long tradition, the Elder speaks first. Hear my Thum. Feel it in your bones. Match it, if you are Dovahkiin. Why do you intrude here, if not for Tinvak? Until introductions. Now, show me what you can do. Greet me not as Orc, but as Dova. Yo? Ah, yes. Sosedo Vrostmul. The dragon blood runs strong in you. It is long since I had the pleasure of speech with one of my own kind. I have expected you, Proda. You would not come all this way for Tinvak with an old Dova. No, you seek your weapon against Alduin. Alduin Comate Teed. What else would you seek? Alduin and Dovahkiin return together. But I do not know the Thum you seek. Croesus, it cannot be known to me. Your kind, Jor, mortals, created it as a weapon against the Dove, the dragons. Our Hadrime, our minds, cannot even comprehend its concepts. Drem, all in good time. First, a question for you. Why do you want to learn this Thum? Yes, Alduin, Zemach, the elder brother, gifted, grasping, and troublesome, as is so often the case with firstborn. But why? Why must you stop Alduin? True, but Kostid, prophecy, tells what may be, not what should be. Kostid Salo Ak. Just because you can do a thing does not always mean you should. Do you have no better reason for acting than destiny? Are you nothing but a plaything of Des, of fate? And so perhaps your destiny will be fulfilled. Who can say? Des Motmahus, even to the Dove who ride the currents of time, destiny is elusive. Alduin believes that he will prevail, with good reason, Rakmul. And he is no fool, Nime, Rinnik Gutnol, far from it. He began as the wisest and most far-seeing of us all. But you have indulged my weakness for speech long enough. Croesus, now I will answer your question. Do you know why I live here, at the peak of the Monaven, what you name throat of the world? Drem, patience, I am answering in my way. This is the most sacred mountain in Skyrim, Zokravak Struma, the great mountain of the world. Here, the ancient tongues, the first mortal masters of the voice, brought Alduin to battle and defeated him. Yes and no. Viknus Nikaron. Alduin was not truly defeated either. If he was, you would not be here today seeking to defeat him. The Nords of those days used the Dragonrend shout to cripple Alduin, but this was not enough. Ok Mulag Unsrad. It was the Kell, the Elder Scroll. They used it to cast him adrift on the currents of time.
Not intentionally. Some hoped he would be gone forever, forever lost. Meye. I knew better. Tidbo Amativ. Time flows ever onward. One day, he would surface. Which is why I have lived here. For thousands of mortal years, I have waited. I knew where he would emerge, but not when. How to explain in your tongue? The Dove have words for such things that Jor do not. It is an artifact from outside time. It does not exist, but it has always existed. Rahwatlan. They are fragments of creation. The Kele, Elder Scrolls as you name them, they have often been used for prophecy. Yes, your prophecy comes from an Elder Scroll. But this is only a small part of their power. Zofa Suyek. Tid Krent. Time was shattered here because of what the ancient Nords did to Alduin. If you brought that Kel, that Elder Scroll back here to the Tid Ahran, the Time Wound, with the Elder Scroll that was used to break time, you may be able to cast yourself back to the other end of the break. You could learn Dragonrend from those who created it. Crosis, no. I know little of what has passed below in the long years I have lived here. You are likely better informed than I. Trust your instincts, Dovahkiin. Your blood will show you the way. So, you have made your way here to me. No easy task for a Jor, mortal. Even for one of Dovasos, dragon blood. What would you ask of me? Sum Ark Dremyolok, greetings. Speak, I will listen. Return it here to the Tid Ahran. Then, Kele Vomindok. Nothing is certain with such things. But I believe the scroll's bond with the Tid Ahran will allow you a seeing, a vision of the moment of its creation. Then you will feel, know Dragonrend in the power of its first expression. You will see them, Wuthfadon, my friends, Haken, Gormlaith, Feldir. The first mortals that I taught the Thum, the first tongues, the leaders of the rebellion against Alduin. They were mighty in their day, even to attempt to defeat Alduin. Sahrot Yun, the Nords have had many heroes since, but none greater. Lok Thum.
Huh?
I used to dream of it. Ah, you're back. I hope you've made some progress on tracking down this shout we need to defeat Alduin. Ah, indeed. There's a pretty puzzle. Not the kind of thing you will find in your local bookshop. Let me think.
Perhaps the College of Winterhold. What learning there is in Skyrim is gathered there. One of the mages there may be able to put you on the trail of this Elder Scroll.
Then came the flash of light, just on the horizon, within the cloud.
Good. Now.
Cross the bridge at your own peril. The way is dangerous, and the gate will not open. You shall not gain entry. Oh, forgive me. Most who arrive here do so because they have heard of the college beforehand. This is the College of Winterhold, a safe haven for mages in Skyrim, a place of wisdom and arcane knowledge. Perhaps, but what is it you expect to find within? I see. That power certainly exists, I assure you. Wield it faithfully, and few can withstand you. It would seem that the college has what you seek. The question now is, what can you offer the college? Not just anyone is allowed inside. Those wishing to enter must show some degree of skill with magic. A small test, if you will. No, I'm afraid I don't know anything of the sort. Excellent. The fear spell has saved the life of many an illusion mage. If you could cast it on the seal here on the ground, that would prove your skill. No? Well, if you think you're capable of it, then I'd be happy to provide it to you for a mere 30 gold. Or you can try your luck with one of the court wizards around Skyrim. They also sell spells. Here you are. Now I'm anxious to see you cast it. Much knowledge lies within the college's walls. The college is an asset to Skyrim. even if it goes unnoticed. If you can pass the test, then yes. Dragonborn? It's been so long since we've had any contact with the Greybeards. Do you really have the voice? I would be most impressed to see that. So the stories are true. You are Dragonborn. Normally, you'd need to show some aptitude with one of the schools of magic. But you... I think there is much that we can learn from each other. I think you'll be a superb addition to the college. Welcome, apprentice. I'll lead you across the bridge. Once you're inside, you'll want to speak with Mirabelle Irvine, our master wizard. Please, follow me.
Right, good. Glad we straightened that out.
I think the college is due for a change in leadership.
I believe I've made myself rather clear.
I don't want to see you treating any of these books poorly. Are we clear? You are now in the Arcanium, of which I am in charge. It might as well be my own little plane of Oblivion. Disrupt my Arcanium, and I will have you torn apart by angry Atronachs. Now, do you require assistance? And what do you plan to do with it? Do you even know what you're asking about? Or are you just someone's errand boy? You think that even if I did have one here, I would let you see it? It would be kept under the highest security. The greatest thief in the world wouldn't be able to lay a finger on it. What about... Wait, were you the one the Greybeards were calling? I'll bring everything we have on them, but it's not much. So don't get your hopes up. It's mostly lies, leavened with rumor and conjecture. Here you go. Try not to spill anything on them. Hundreds of years have gone into assembling this collection. It's going to stay pristine, understand? Aye, that's the work of Septimus Cygnus. He's the world's master of the nature of Elder Scrolls, but, well, he's been gone for a long while. Too long. Somewhere up north, in the ice fields. He said he found some old Dwemer artifact, but well, that was years ago. Haven't heard from him since. Good. Nah. Good. Nah. Good. Nah. Good. Nah.
We've stopped. What is it? Go on ahead. I'll stand guard. We going? Lead the way.
Dig, Dwemer in the beyond. I'll know your lost unknown and rise to your depths. When the top level was built, no more could be placed. It was and is the maximal apex. Elder Scrolls, indeed. The Empire. They absconded with them. Or so they think. The ones they saw. The ones they thought they saw. I know of one. Forgotten. Sequestered. But I cannot go to it, not poor Septimus, for I have arisen beyond its grasp. Here, well, here as in this plain, Mundus, Tamriel, nearby, relatively speaking. On the cosmological scale, well, it's all nearby. One block lifts the other. Septimus will give what you want, but you must bring him something in return. You see this masterwork of the Dwemer, deep inside their greatest knowings. Septimus is clever among men, but he is but an idiot child compared to the dullest of the Dwemer. Lucky then they left behind their own way of reading the Elder Scrolls. In the depths of Black Reach, one yet lies. Have you heard of Black Reach? Cast upon where Drimmer City slept, the yearning spire hidden learnings kept. Under deep, below the dark, the hidden keep, Tower Zark. Oftan, the point of puncture, of first entry of the tapping. Delve to its limits, and Black Reach lies just beyond. But not all can enter there. Only Septimus knows the hidden key to loose the lock, to jump beneath the deathly rock. Two things I have for you. Two shapes. One edged, one round. The round one for tuning. Dwemer music is soft and subtle, and needed to open their cleverest gates. The edged lexicon for inscribing. To us, a hunk of metal. To the Dwemer, a full library of knowings, but empty. Find Mazark and its sky dome. The machinations there will read the scroll and lay the lore upon the cube. Trust Septimus. He knows you can know.
Good. Good. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Take this and hold on to it. I'll be back for it later. I'll pay you good. Don't lose it. No time to talk. Snitch or double-cross me and I'll kill you. I mean it.
Did you see someone run past just now? Great. Thanks. Bastard stole from me. I'll catch him though.
Keep it to yourself, Giselle. Always try to keep it to yourself.
Hey, watch it!
Don't lie to me, Giselle. You did it. Always try to. Who is this, brother? Another of the smooth skins looking for food? What? At your best, huh?
Let's just get out of here. Hasn't there been enough death?
Of course you want me to leave. You're just waiting for me to turn my back, so you can have all the glory for yourself. What was that?
Hello? Thought I heard...
Good.
The Elder Scroll. Tidkrech Kalos. Time shudders at its touch. There is no question. You are doom-driven. Kogan Akatosh. The very bones of the earth are at your disposal. Go then. Fulfill your destiny. Take the scroll to the Time Wound. Do not delay. Alduin will be coming. He cannot miss the signs. Today, Alduin's lordship will be restored. But I honor your courage. Krifwolf Akrin. Die now in vain.
A glorious day, is it not?
Have you no thought beyond the blooding of your blade?
What else is there?
The battle below goes ill. If Alduin does not rise to our challenge, I fear all may be lost.
You worry too much, brother. Victory will be ours.
Why does Alduin hang back? We've staked everything on this plan of yours, old man.
He will come. He cannot ignore our defiance. And why should he fear us, even now?
We blooded him well. 4 of his kin have fallen to my blade alone.
But none have yet stood against Alduin himself. Balthor, Sorin, Birka.
They did not have Dragonrend. Once we bring him down, I promise, I will have his head.
You do not understand. Alduin cannot be slain like a lesser dragon. He is beyond our strength. Which is why I brought the Elder Scroll.
Veldir, we agreed not to use it.
I never agreed. And if you are right, I will not need
We will
it.
deal with Alduin ourselves. Here and now.
We shall see soon enough. Alduin approaches.
So be it.
Me, Tarudis, Ani, Him Hind Paliv, Zuu Hindan.
Let those that watch from Sovngarde envy us this day. If I die today, it will not be in terror. First time, worm. I see in your eyes. Skyrim will be free!
It's no use.
Hold onward on the wing. Sister Hawk, grant us your sacred breath to make this contract heard. Begone, World Eater. My words with older bones than your own. We break your perch on this age and send you out. You are banished. Outlaw from all our endings unto the last. You are banished.
It worked. We did it.
Yes, the World Eater is gone. May the spirits have mercy on our souls.
Silesur. My belly is full of the souls of your fellow mortals, Dovahkiin. Die now, and await your fate in Sovngarde. Lost Foot, you are too late, Alduin. Dovahkiin, use Dragonrend if you know it. No! My power has waxed. Yours has You will not overreach me. Never again. The only chance to defeat him. Lot Kongrach. You truly have the voice of a Dova. Alduin's allies will think twice after this victory. Ni livrach hin moro. True, this is not the final Kongrach victory, but not even the heroes of old were able to defeat Alduin in open battle. Alduin always was Pachlok, arrogant in his power. Uznagar Par. He took domination as his birthright. This should shake the loyalty of the Dove who serve him. Yes, one of his allies could tell us Matmahus, but it will not be so easy to convince one of them to betray him. Perhaps the Hafkasayun, the palace in Whiterun, Dragon's Reach. It was originally built to house a captive Dova. A fine place to trap one of Alduin's allies, yes, but your Sum is strong. I do not doubt that you can convince him of the need. Lok Thum.
Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something in the old fort near Riften. Might consider joining up myself.
Another wanderer, here to lick my father's
May the
boots.
gods watch over your battles, friend. I must have misheard you. I thought you asked me to help you trap a dragon in my palace. I'm sorry, but I can't do it. We'll just have to keep fighting the dragons as best we can. What you're asking for is insane. Impossible. You want me to let a dragon into the heart of my city, with the threat of war on my doorstep? There must be another way. The risk is too great. Alduin, the World Eater himself. But how can we fight him? Doesn't his return mean it's the end times? I didn't say anything about giving up. Now what's this nonsense about trapping a dragon in my palace? I want to help you, Dragonborn. And I will. But I need your help first. Ulfric and General Tullius are both just waiting for me to make a wrong move. Do you think they will sit idle while the dragon is slaughtering my men and burning my city? No. I can't risk weakening the city while we are under the threat of enemy attack. I'm sorry. Then I would be glad to help you with your mad dragon-trapping scheme, but getting both sides to agree to a truce will be difficult at this point. The bitterness has gone too deep. Maybe. What of the Greybeards? They are respected by all Nords. High Hrothgar is neutral territory. If the Greybeards were willing to host a peace council, then maybe Ulfric and Tullius would have to listen. Aye, Dragonborn. Maybe you can stop the dragons, and this war into the bargain. Now, if you don't mind, I've got a city to keep.
Good. Did you do that? Now!
Aldwin? We heard the Dragonren shout from here. You defeated him? I feared as much. I thought it was him we saw flying east after your battle. We are not warriors. What is overlooked in the Dragonborn is not permitted to any other followers of the Way of the Voice. You misunderstand our authority. The Greybeards have never involved themselves in political affairs. I see. The dragon will lead you to Aldwin, but without the Jarl's help. Paarthurnax has made the decision to help you. This is the road we have to walk. Even the Greybeards must bend to the winds of change, it seems. So be it. Tell Ulfric and General Tullius that the Greybeards wish to speak to them. We will see if they still remember us. Breath and focus.
Good.
You come here where you're not wanted. You eat our food, you pollute our city with your stink, and you refuse to help the Stormcloaks.
I made my fortune as a sea captain, but now I'm retired.
Good. Aldrich won't give us a straight answer.
He's a true Nord. He'll come around.
Don't be so
Only the
sure.
foolish or the courageous approach a Jarl without summons.
The Empire
Do I
is
know
putting a
you?
great deal of pressure on Whiterun.
Is that so? Yes. You were with us at Helgen. Destined for the chopping block, if I'm not mistaken. Raylof's alive. I hope that's true. He's a damn good man, but he hasn't returned yet. So I'll need to wait for his account. For now, speak with Galmar. I'm always looking for able fighters. Not everyone can say they made it out of Helgen. Seems we're all branded villains these days. So long as your criminal past stays in the past, and you fight for me with honor and integrity, we'll welcome you into our ranks. And what would you have me do?
If he's not with us, he's against us.
He knows that. They all know that.
How long are you going to wait?
You think I need to send Bolgraf a stronger message?
If by message you mean shoving a sword through his gullet.
Taking his city and leaving him in disgrace would make a more powerful statement, don't you think?
So we're ready to start this war in earnest then?
Soon.
I still say you should take them all out like you did dead King Torrig.
Torrig was merely a message to the other Jarls. Whoever we replace them with will need the support of our armies.
We're ready when you are.
Speak with Galmar. He'll size you up and see where we can best use your talents. It's about time they turned their gaze from the heavens back to our bleeding homeland. What do they want? I have the greatest respect for the Greybeards, of course, and the dragon attacks are a growing plague. But the political situation is still delicate. Not all the Jarls are fully committed to supporting me as High King. I can't afford to appear weak. I can't agree to this unless Tullius himself will be there. I can't agree to any peace council until I know Tullius will be there. The other Jarls could take that as a sign of weakness. I don't need you to teach me how to play high politics in Skyrim. But you're right. There's nothing to be gained by refusing the Greybeard's request. Yes, I'll give Tullius one more chance to quit Skyrim with his tail between his legs. Things hinge on Whiterun. If we can take the city without bloodshed.
I need to ask you how good people are behind. Glad we straightened that out. It's no secret the Aretino boy is doing some ritual trying to call the Dark Brotherhood. Who's going to stop it?
Wait, I heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something. In the old fort near Riften. Might consider...
I remember you. You were at Helgen. Speak to Legate Ricca. I suspect we could use someone like you. I see. Then there's nothing further to discuss. If you change your mind, speak with the Legate. The Greybeards. What do those old hermits want with me? Why, there's nothing to discuss as long as that traitor Ulfric is in arms against his rightful emperor. They are getting to be a problem, but I wasn't sent to Skyrim to fight dragons. My job is to quell this rebellion, and I intend to do just that, dragons or no dragons. I'll be the judge of that. Besides, by all reports, the Stormcloaks are suffering just as much as we are from these dragon attacks. Has he? I suppose he doesn't want to miss a chance to bluster about the Empire's many crimes. He's probably hoping I'll refuse so he can blame the Empire for being unreasonable. I think I'll have to disappoint him yet again. Yes, fine. I'll come to this Greybeard Council. For all the good it will do.
I'm telling you, Ulfric's planning an attack on Whiterun.
He'd be...
Wait, I know you.
Done it. The men of violence are gathered here, in these halls whose very stones are dedicated to peace. I should not have agreed to host this council. The Greybeards have no business involving ourselves in such matters. Peace? I doubt it. They may put their weapons down for a moment, but only to gather strength for the next bloodletting. They are not yet tired of war. Far from it. Do you know the ancient Nord word for war? Season unending. And so it has proved. But regrets are pointless. Here we are. Take your seat at the council table, and let us see what wisdom we can find among these warriors of Skyrim. Now that everyone is here, please take your seats so we can begin. I hope that we have all come here in the spirit
You
of...
insult us by bringing her to this negotiation? You're Chief Talos Hunter?
That didn't take long.
Hear, hear.
I have every right to be at this negotiation. I need to ensure that nothing is agreed to here that violates the terms of the White Gold Concordat.
She's part of the Imperial delegation. You can't dictate who I bring to this council.
Please, if we have to negotiate the terms of the negotiation, we will never get anywhere. Perhaps this would be a good time to get the Dragonborn's input on this matter.
By Izmir's beard, the nerve of those Imperial bastards, eh? To think that I would sit down at the same table with that Thalmor bitch. Either she walks or I do. Maybe so, but bringing her here is a deliberate provocation. Tullius needs to know I won't be pushed around. It feels like a mistake to me. But I'll bow to your judgment on this. But she is to observe, nothing more. We are not negotiating with her. Is that clear?
Ulfric, why so hostile? After all, it's not the Thalmor that's burning your farms and killing your sons.
She's supposed to be on our side?
You know exactly... No. Not this time.
Now that that's settled, may we proceed?
I have something to say first.
Here we go.
The only reason I agreed to attend this council was to deal with the dragon menace. There's nothing else to talk about. Unless the Empire's finally ready to renounce its unjust claim to rule over the free people of Skyrim.
I knew he wouldn't be able to resist.
A temporary truce to allow the Dragonborn here to deal with the dragons, nothing more. I consider even talking to the Empire a generous gesture.
Are you done? Did you just come here to make speeches, or can we get down to business?
Yes, let's get this over with.
Are we ready to proceed? Jarl Ulfric, General Tullius, this council is unprecedented. We are gathered here at the Dragonborn's request. I ask that you all respect the spirit of High Hrothgar, and do your best to begin the process of achieving a lasting peace in Skyrim. Who would like to open the negotiations?
Yes, let's get down to it. We want control of Markarth. That's our price for agreeing to a truce.
So that's why you're here, Ulfric? You dare to insult the Greybeards by using this council to advance your own position?
Jarl Elisif.
General, this is outrageous. You can't be taking this demand seriously. I thought we were here to discuss a truce.
Elisif, I said I'd handle it. Ulfric, you can't seriously expect us to give up Markarth at the negotiating table. You hope to gain in council what you've been unable to take in battle, is that it?
I'm sure Jarl Ulfric does not expect something for nothing.
Yes, that'd be entirely out of character.
Want in return?
Wait, General, you don't intend to just hand over Markarth to that traitor?
This is how the Empire repays us for our loyalty?
Enough! First, let's be clear. This council wasn't my idea. I think it's a waste of time. You are a traitor to the Empire, and deserve a traitor's death. But I at least will negotiate in good faith. Since we're all here at your request, I'd like to hear what you think Markarth is worth. In exchange for Markarth, the source of most of Skyrim's silver. Hardly. Riften seems like a better choice to me. Well-fortified, easily resupplied from across Lake Honric, plus all the mead we can drink. I'm glad you agree. I was starting to wonder whose side you were on here. You heard the man, Ulfric. We've made you a fair offer. Are you serious about these talks, or are you just here to posture?
I expected better from you, Dragonborn. I came here in good faith, and now it seems you help the Empire at every turn. As for you, General Tullius, I see now that Galmar was right. Talking to the Empire is just as useless as ever. If you think you can hold Markarth, you're as deluded as your Emperor when he signed away our freedom to the Thalmor. Skyrim will never again bow to your false empire. Let's go, Galmar. I should have listened to you in the first place.
You always were a fool, Ulfric. You're no better at diplomacy than you are in the battlefield.
Stop! Are you so blind to our danger that you can't see past your petty disagreements? Here you sit arguing about nothing, while the fate of the land hangs in the balance.
Is he with you, Delphine? If so, I advise you to tell him to watch his tongue.
He is with me, and I advise you both to listen to what he has to say before you do anything rash.
Don't you understand the danger? Don't you understand what the return of the dragons means? Alduin has returned, the World Eater. Even now he devours the souls of your fallen comrades. He grows more powerful with every soldier slain in your pointless war. Can you not put aside your hatred for even one moment in the face of this mortal danger?
A very pretty speech. But what does it have to do with the...
If he's right about Alduin, we both have just as much to lose here, Tullius. Remember that. Now, back to the matter at hand. Don't hand me a mug of sheep's piss and call it mead. These terms are still not acceptable.
I'm sure you have something in mind.
Damn right we do.
You surrender Falkreath to us. Sidgeir steps down, and Dengir of Stun resumes the Jarlship.
Where do these demands stop, Ulfric? Do you expect me to surrender all of Skyrim?
It seems I have no choice but to let the Dragonborn decide. Although I'm starting to doubt your fairness. What say you, Dragonborn? Spoken like a true son of Skyrim. I suppose that's the fairest deal we're likely to get.
It seems we may have an agreement. Jarl Ulfric, General Tullius, these are the terms currently on the table. Markarth will be handed over to Ulfric's forces, Jarl Igmund will step down, and Thongvor Silverblood will become the Jarl of Markarth. The Stormcloaks will withdraw from the rift, allowing Imperial troops unhindered access. Jarl Leila Lawgiver will step down, and Maven Blackbriar will become the Jarl of Riften. Falkreath will be turned over to Ulfric, and Dengir of Stun will return as Jarl. You both agree to this?
The Sons of Skyrim will live up to their agreements, as long as the Imperials hold to theirs. What about you, Elisif? Are these terms to your liking? Speak up! I'm sure General Tullius is waiting to do your bidding.
I have nothing to say to that murderer. General, you've proven yourself a good friend to Skyrim. I continue to trust that you will do your utmost to safeguard our interests.
Thank you, Jarl Elisif. I appreciate your loyalty. The Empire can live with these terms, yes, for a temporary truce, until the dragon menace is dealt with. After that, Ulfric, there will be a reckoning. Count on it.
Come on, Galmar. We have a lot of work to do.
Giving up Markarth is a heavy price for this truce, Dragonborn. I hope it was worth it.
Jarl Balgruf, I assume you are familiar with the Dragonborn's plan?
Yes, I'm ready to do my part.
I'm afraid there's a problem. A serious one. I've discovered who the Greybeard's leader really is. He's a dragon. Not just any dragon, but the right hand of Alduin, responsible for many atrocities during the Ancient Dragon War. The Blades have been hunting him for centuries, but he was protected by the Greybeards, and then the Emperors. Justice demands that he die for his crimes. Until he is dead, I'm afraid my oath as a Blade prevents me from offering you aid and comfort. I anticipated the problem. While you were arranging this meeting, I was busy in the library of Skyhaven Temple, an unguessed trove of lost lore.
But the important thing is that the Blades recorded many of the names of dragons they slew. Cross-referencing this with Delphine's map of dragon burial sites, I believe I've identified one of the dragons that Alduin has raised up. Don't you see? The names of dragons are always 3 words of power, shouts. By calling the dragon with a voice, he will hear you wherever he might be. He's not compelled to, but dragons are prideful by nature and loath to refuse a challenge. Your voice in particular is likely to intrigue this dragon after your victory over Alduin. I think it's very likely that he will be unable to resist investigating your call. Ah, indeed. I'm no master of the voice, like these worthy gentlemen, but it is written here in this scroll. Oda Ving, winged snow hunter, as I read it.
Just say the word, and my men will help you spring this trap.
But the difficulty remains how to lure a dragon to Dragon's Reach at all.
Well, that's an excellent question. You haven't overlooked that little detail.
I believe I can be of help.
We're ready, Dragonborn. Just say the word. As I promised, my men stand ready. The great chains are oiled. We wait on your word. My men know what to do. Make sure you do your part. I'm putting my city in your hands. We're ready when you are.
What? Bing!
Go ahead and call this dragon of yours. We're ready.
Hear that? What? Bing!
Cover until it's down.
Do not try to hide from me.
Steady now! You can't win this!
Be fast, Novacaine.
Why are we doing this again? We need to bring it down! Get back! Get back! We need to trap it, not kill it! That's it! Now wait until he's well inside.
Your Thuum is no match. Ubonar, you went to a great deal of trouble to put me in this humiliating position. In Sir Alduin, No doubt you want to know where to find Alduin. Renik Vaza, an apt phrase. Alduin Boval. One reason I came to your call was to test your Thuum for myself. Many of us have begun to question Alduin's lordship, whether his Thuum was truly the strongest. Among ourselves, of course, Muni Mae, none were yet ready to openly defy him. Once Lord Croesus, innumerable pardons, I digress. He has traveled to Sovngarde to regain his strength, devouring the Silesure, the souls of the mortal dead, a privilege he jealously guards. His door to Sovngarde is at Skuldafn, one of his ancient fanes high in the eastern mountains. Mindoran Paok Midoven Avarantil. I surely do not need to warn you that all his remaining strength is marshaled there. Zuulost Ofan Hinlan. Now that I have answered your question, you will allow me to go free? Ah, well, Croesus, there is one detail about Skuldafn I neglected to mention. Only this. You have the Thuum of Adova, but without the wings of one, you will never set foot in Skuldafn. Of course, I could fly you there, but not while imprisoned like this. Indeed, Orin Britro, I cannot leave here until you defeat Alduin, which you cannot do without my help. You have reconsidered my offer, Onikan Kron? You will release me, Roland, if in return I promise to take you to Skuldafn and stop helping Alduin? Zunitarodis, it was you that lured me here and took me prisoner. Vobalan Gramidon, I have done nothing to earn your distrust. Onikan Korav Gain Mirad, it is wise to recognize when you only have one choice. And you can trust me. Zunitarodis. Alduin has proven himself unworthy to rule. I go my own way now. Free me, and I will carry you to Skaldafin.
Incredible. Sir, you have no idea how long I have waited for such an opportunity. I would be most appreciative if you would permit me to perform some, tests on you, purely in the interests of the advancement of knowledge.
Be gone, mage. Do not test my
Something to
promise
tell the grandkids, eh? You sure about that? You want to let that dragon loose after all the trouble to catch him in there? Your funeral. Someone else is gonna have to help you get him back in there again.
Very bad idea.
Get ready to open the trap.
This seems like a really bad idea to me. Carry on, soldier. This is all part of the Dragonborn's plan.
Was du, die dein Rufe Astron? Are you ready to see the world as only a Dova can? Are you ready to see the world as only a Dova can? Saran Uth, I await your command as promised. Are you ready to see the world as only a Dova can? Zuk Brit Oth, I warn you, once you've flown the skies of Kaizal, your envy of the Dolph will only increase. Amativ, mu bokotin stinselok. This is as far as I can take you. Grifoth Akrin. I will look for your return. Or Alduin's. Good. Skoldoffen! Venkos!
Turn back, traveler. Terror waits within this mist. Many have braved the shadowed veil, but vain is all courage against the peril that guards the way. Near Giant's Gap, in the gloom before dawn, we marched unsuspecting into the Imperial's trap. Then we stood and fought, our shield wall defending, until by dawn's light the Legion's ranks wavered. But I never knew if Night's End brought victory. A swift flying arrow to Sovngarde carried me. I do not know, but none have passed through. Alduin, his hunger insatiable, hunts the lost souls snared within this shadowed valley. Can you lead the way to where Shore's Hall waits, beckoning us on to welcome long sought? I saw it fair when first I trod this long-sought path. The pain and fear vanished, dreamlike, and a vision beckoned. Shore's Hall, shimmering across the clouded veil, but quenched was hope by the shrouding mist. My mind is darkened. I've lost the way, and wander blindly. Hurry, before Alduin your life devours. Bring word to Shore's Hall of our hard fate. Beware, the World Eater waits within the mist.
What brings you, Wayfarer Grim? A fateful errand. No few have chafed to face the worm, since first he set his soul snare here at Sovngarde's threshold. But Shor restrained our wrathful onslaught. Perhaps deep counseled your doom he foresaw. I am soon shield thing to Shor. The whalebone bridge he bade me guard, and winnow all those souls whose heroic end sent them here to Shor's lofty hall. Where welcome well earned awaits those I judge fit to join that fellowship of honor. No shade are you, as usually here passes, but living, you dare the land of the dead. By what right do you request entry? Ah, it's been too long since last I faced a doom-driven hero of the Dragonblood. Living or dead, by decree of Shor, none may pass this perilous bridge till I judge them worthy by the warrior's test. You fought well. I find you worthy. It is long since one of the living. Good.
Welcome, Dragonborn. Our door has stood empty since Alduin first set his soul snare here. By Shor's command, we sheathed our blades, and ventured not the Vale's dark mist. But three await your word to loose their fury upon the perilous foe. Gormlaith, the fearless, glad-hearted in battle. Hekon, the valiant, heavy-handed warrior. Feldir, the old, far-seeing and grim. Far you've traveled, with trials long, to taste Sovngarde's sweet delights.
At long last, Alduin's doom is now ours to seal. Just speak the word, and with high hearts, we'll hasten forth to smite the worm, wherever he lurks.
Hold, comrades. Let us counsel take before battle is blindly joined. Alduin's mist is more than a snare. Its shadowy gloom is his shield and cloak. But with 4 voices joined, our valor combined, we can blast the mist and bring him to battle.
Feldir speaks wisdom. The World Eater, coward, fears you, Dragonborn. We must drive away his mist, shouting together, and then unsheath our blades in desperate battle with our black-winged foe.
To battle, my friends! The field will echo with the clamor of war, our wills undaunted.
Good. The eyes of Shor upon this day. Defeat Alduin.
Cannot fight the foe in this mist.
Clear skies! Combine our shouts!
Look!
Does his strength have no end? Is our struggle in vain?
Stand fast! His strength is failing! Once more and his might will be broken!
Look!
Endless weight gives way to battle. No escape this time, foul worm!
They will sing of this battle in Shore's Hall forever. But your fate lies elsewhere. This was a mighty deed. The doom of Alduin encompassed at last, and cleansed his Sovngarde of his evil snare. They will sing of this battle in Shore's Hall forever. But your fate lies elsewhere. When you have completed your count of days, I may welcome you again with glad friendship and bid you join the blessed feasting. When you are ready to rejoin the living, just bid me so, and I will send you back. Return now to Nurn, with this rich boon from Shore, my lord. A shout to bring a hero from Sovngarde in your hour of need.
With great praise.
Sarot fur Kanaran. Vakin los ok de Vakri. Du mi los nulo. It is done. Alduin Dilon, the eldest, is no more. He who came before all others and has always been. Indeed, Alduin Wachlan Dani. His doom was written when he claimed for himself the lordship that properly belonged to Bormahu, our father Akatosh. But I cannot celebrate his fall. Zultiraz Ach Ukhma. He was my brother once, this world will never be the same. You once told me you did not believe in destiny. Perhaps now you have some insight into the forces that shape the Benecetid, the currents of time. Perhaps you begin to see the world as a Dova. But I forget myself. Crosis, solos midfadon. Melancholy is an easy trap for a Dova to fall into. You have won a mighty victory, Shahroch Kondrach. One that will echo through all the ages of this world for those who have eyes to see. Savor your triumph, Dovahkiin. This is not the last of what you will write upon the currents of time. Goran, I feel younger than I have in many an age. Many of the Dovahkiin are now scattered across Kizar. Without Alduin's lordship, they may yet bow to the Varzen, brightness of my Thum. But willing or no, they will hear it. Fare thee well, Dovahkiin.
Wundana Wawuthgain. I wish the Old One luck in his quest. But I doubt many will wish to exchange Alduin's lordship for the tyranny of Paarthurnax's way of the voice. As for myself, you've proven your mastery twice over. Thuri Dovahkiin, I gladly acknowledge the power of your Thum. Zu Odaving, call me when you have need, and I will come if I can.
Please. Delphine has been very worried about you.
We heard the news from Whiterun that you left the city on the back of a dragon. That's a little showy, even for you. Since you're still alive, I assume you have good news to report. Gods above, that's better news than I had hoped. When you walked into my inn that day, I never imagined where it would all lead. Dragons out of legend, Sovngarde. Make your choice, Dragonborn. You're either with us or against us. Here's the big picture. He helped Alduin enslave our ancestors. He may have betrayed Alduin in the end, but that makes him worse, not better. We can't afford to give Paarthurnax the opportunity to betray us in turn and return to his old master. The Blades have always guarded and guided the Dragonborn, but we'd forgotten why. Now our purpose is clear. I'm all that's left of the Blades, and you're the Dragonborn. Together, we're going to stop these dragons if we have to put every last one of them back in the ground.
Just as the prophecy stated, I knew.
I can see it in your eyes. You've seen the land of the gods and returned. Does this mean it is done? Is Alduin truly defeated? At last, it is over. Perhaps it was all worth it in the end. You've shown yourself mighty, both in voice and deed. In order to defeat Alduin, you have gained mastery of dreadful weapons. Now it is up to you to decide what to do with your power and skill. Will you be a hero whose name is remembered in song throughout the ages? Or will your name be a curse to future generations? Or will you merely fade from history, unremembered? Let the way of the voice be your guide, and the path of wisdom will be clear to you. Breath and focus, Dragonborn. Your future lies before you.